On the afternoon of November 14th, Chinese President Xi Jinping and his U.S. counterpart Joe Biden met in Bali, Indonesia, on the sidelines of the G20 summit for their first in-person meeting since President Biden took office. The two leaders smiled and shook hands, sending a message to the world that despite differences and competition, the two countries are not bitter enemies. The communication was comprehensive, candid, and in-depth. It was comprehensive and in-depth because the two heads of state engaged in deep discussions on China-US relations and many major regional and international issues. Both sides made gestures of goodwill. China stated that it does not seek to change the existing international order and has no intention of challenging or displacing the United States. Meanwhile, the U.S. side said that it does not seek to change China's system, does not seek a new Cold War or to revitalize alliances against China, does not support Taiwan independence, two Chinas, or one China, one Taiwan, has no intention to enter into conflict with or seek decoupling from China, and has no intention to halt China's economic development or to contain China. The discussion was also candid because both parties faced problems squarely and made their intentions clear. To be frank, the main problem with its policy toward China is that the United States does not honor its commitments with concrete action. Over the past 2 years, in many aspects of the U.S. policy toward China, the Biden administration has remained on the course set by the previous administration, causing bilateral relations to remain at a low ebb. With that said, China truly expects the United States to deliver on its commitments concerning bilateral ties. During the meeting in Bali, the two leaders agreed that China and the United States should build a relationship featuring non-conflict, non-confrontation, and peaceful coexistence. They agreed that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will visit China at an early date, and the teams of the two sides will follow up on the subsequent work of the meeting and take practical measures to implement the important consensus reached by the two heads of state, discuss the guiding principles of China-U.S. relations, manage differences and stable bilateral ties, and actively cooperate to promote the post-COVID global recovery, tackle climate change, and resolve regional issues. Since U.S. President Richard Nixon's visit to China 50 years ago, China-U.S. relations have been driven by interests. That is, the two countries share common interests in survival, development, and global governance. Decades on, it is still true that both countries gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation. The facts have also proved that common interests are the only basis for future China-U.S. relations. But then again, given the decades of ups and downs in the development of China-U.S. relations, we will harbor no illusions that everything will go well in the future. Differences, competitions, and contentions between the two sides are inevitable. But as long as both sides take the consensus reached at this meeting as a guideline, the two countries can find the right way to get on with each other so that the relationship will continue to benefit both countries and the world as a whole. Thank you for watching. I'm Fu Yi in Beijing.